Hello, this is the summary of Keystone C, Unit 1, Story 3. And this story is about inventions. You should remember that this unit is called How Can Changes Improve People's Lives? So it's about people's lives becoming better. And because this unit is about inventions, I want to talk very quickly about a summary of all the inventions in this story. The inventions are divided into 19th century inventions and 20th century inventions. 19th century inventions are anything from 1800 to the end of the 1800s. Okay? 20th century is everything from 1901 up until just before the year 2000. We're now in the 21st century. Starting with the inventions of the 19th century, and these are not in the same order as they are in the book, but we have 1853, Amelia Bloomer, who was a women's rights reformer like Charlotte in the writing freedom story that you read. She believed that women were equal to men, so she enjoyed wearing what she invented as bloomers, which were long pants. At the time, women only wore skirts or dresses. They didn't wear pants. So everyone thought she was very funny at first, but a short time later when the bicycle was invented, it was discovered that women can't ride bicycles very well wearing skirts, so pants became quite useful at that time. In 1853, Elisha Otis invented his safety elevator. People at the time were very afraid of elevators because the elevators were pulled up and down by a metal cable or like a rope. And if that cable broke, the elevator would fall, and that was that. But what he invented were some arms that would shoot out of the elevator if the cable broke and catch the elevator from falling. And here is a picture of him demonstrating or showing his elevator in New York City. He had the cable cut. You can see there's kind of a dangling cable here, and the elevator caught itself as it was falling down, so people are very excited. And he demonstrated it while he was on it. Next, in 1858, we have the transatlantic telegraph. Trans means across, like transportation, and Atlantic, of course, for the Atlantic Ocean. So transatlantic means across the Atlantic. Telegraph is kind of like a text message, but they couldn't do it on their cell phones. There were no cell phones at that time. They would send messages on a cable from one machine to another machine, but there was no way to send that from the United States to Europe. So Cyrus Field was kind of a money man, and he decided to invest in this project of putting a cable from North America all the way over to the United Kingdom. And he worked together with, I think this is probably typed wrong, he worked together with Charles Bright and William Thomson to lay this cable across. And here's the ship with the cable coming out as it goes across the Atlantic. And here's a map showing the route of the cable as it went all the way across the Atlantic over to the United Kingdom. Okay. The transatlantic telegraph was completed. However, a few weeks later it failed. It stopped working. But even though it failed, it did prove that a cable could be put across the Atlantic, and later the project was completed and it worked. In 1869, Dmitry Mendeleev, he was a chemist, and he discovered a pattern in the atomic weight of elements, and he wrote out that pattern and created the periodic table of elements. In 1873, Jacob Davis and Levi Strauss invented the blue jeans. Strauss had a shop that sold to men and families who were in the gold rush, and they were working in mines and looking for gold, and they had very tough, difficult lives, and of course their clothes got torn and destroyed a lot. So he got the idea of putting metal rivets into the clothes to make them stronger. And his idea got patented, and he invented the first blue jeans. Okay, moving into the 20th century now. The first thing we have in 1902, Hubert Booth invented the vacuum cleaner. And his idea was different because earlier vacuum cleaners blew the dust away, but his vacuum cleaner sucked in the dust. And he thought it worked much better than the kind that blew it away. And the only problem was his first vacuum cleaner was so big that they had to put it outside the house and bring the hose inside to vacuum. So it wasn't something you could easily clean your house with. In 1902, Morris Mitchum and Margaret Steph, separately in different countries, invented the teddy bear. Morris Mitchum actually named it the teddy bear after the current president of the time, President Theodore Teddy Roosevelt. 1907, Avis Fisher invented the electric washing machine. Before that, women would wash clothes in a hot tub of water. It took a lot of physical strength and time, but what this was an electric motor that stuck on the side of a tub and moved the clothes back and forth so that they would get clean. One bad side of this is apparently it wasn't very safe. In 1923, Frank Epperson, he invented the ice pop, or the ice cream, not ice cream, but the ice pop. And the legend was that he invented this by leaving some juice outside in the cold with a stirring stick in it, and the next morning he had his first ice pop. 1928, Walter Deemer, he invented the bubble gum, and he was an accountant. He worked in a chewing gum company, and he got the idea of how to make the chewing gum more chewy or more stretchy, and he actually found that he could blow bubbles with this gum that he invented, and he invented the first chewing gum, bubble gum. And he also, the story goes that he taught his sales staff to blow perfect bubbles to promote their product. Cat's eyes were invented in 1935 by Percy Shaw, and you'll see these in the street along highways where it's dark at night, and they help you to see the road better, especially if it's rainy or if it's really dark out. And his cat's eyes were special because they were made of a special rubber cover that if a car ran over it, the cover would blink. There would be a rubber eyelid, like a cat, and it would blink and clean itself. So it never got dirty. It would wipe off the dirt again, and it would be nice and shiny for the next car to come by.